As we see more and more budget-oriented $99 Windows tablets, it's going to be interesting to see how Android tablets in the same price bracket are going to fare. Hey guys, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our video review of the RCA Voyager 7. This is a 7-inch Android tablet with a quad-core 1.4 GHz processor, Wi-Fi, 8 GB of internal storage expandable via a micro SD card slot, and 1 GB of RAM. Otherwise, this is a very much no-frills tablet. It's basic, there's no extras, there's no NFC, no Bluetooth, and also no rear-facing camera. Instead, you get a very entry-level experience that's great for kids, perhaps as your first tablet, and it's also good as a backup device. It's pretty snappy, it's pretty responsive, and handles games and also videos and productivity apps alike pretty well, but don't expect blazing performance that you get in higher priced tablets at the same time. In terms of design, it's a pretty basic also experience that we see. It's a very nice slate form factor, but it's crafted entirely out of plastic, so not the best build quality here. That said, it feels well crafted enough and it feels solid in the hand. The weight is distributed well, and the benefit of having this plastic material is it doesn't attract too many fingerprints or smudges, so it's going to remain pretty clean even as you handle it. Taking a quick look at the design, the front also has pretty small bezels, so compared to the last generation Amazon Kindle Fire HD 7-inch, you see how the bezels are a lot smaller, and as a result, it's more portable. This is a nice feature to have because a reason why you might want to consider a 7-inch tablet rather than a 10-inch tablet, again, is going to be for that portability. All the ports on this device are located on the right-hand side, which is interesting. There's a VGA quality front-facing camera for taking selfies and for also for Skype and WeChat. The camera resolution on here is pretty poor at best, but we'll show you around that in a moment. The ports here correspond to a volume rocker that's pretty tactile and easy to press. You also have access to the micro SD card, which can be expanded up to 64 GB. There's also a micro USB for charging, which takes about 2 hours to complete. Battery life in this product is rated at 4 hours, but we found we easily eased out about 6 to 8 hours of usage with Wi-Fi turned off, so pretty good battery life for the design of the unit. There's also a 3.5mm headphone jack for listening to music and a power on and off switch. There's nothing else on the tablet aside from the loudspeaker located on the back, and this is a mono speaker, but it has a pretty good bass response. So whenever you're playing back something, it actually vibrates the entire back of the unit, so you feel this vibration whenever you're listening to music, watching a movie, or playing back games. Users can also select from a wealth of different color options from purple to pink to black to white, and all of these different color options are available at most retail locations. Something I do need to point out though is that there is a bit of a discrepancy between the device and how it's advertised online and how it actually looks in person. You can see how the same Voyager 7 tablet in images looks like there's a slightly brushed look to it. It almost looks like a bit of a brushed metal finish, but in reality, the finish itself is just a plain plastic back. So be aware of that when you are. The actual UI experience is a virtually stock Android 4.4 KitKat, which is pretty good. You can slide upwards to reveal a Google Now service, and this allows you to unlock the device and directly have access to a Google Now search engine. So you can type away at different search queries, you can search Google Now by voice, and check out on your weather and other services that are again new to this version of Android. To accommodate this newer version of Android 4.4, you can also have a divided slide down navigational drawer, so you can slide from the right to have access to your different options for the Wi-Fi, the auto rotation or the gravity sensor, the settings, the brightness on the screen, and also for mirror casting. So this device can have the ability to mirror content from the tablet onto a Wi-Fi connected television, which is pretty important because, as you've probably noted, there is no HDMI port on here. So if you do want to have the stuff and the content mirrored from your tablet, you do have to use the Mirrorcast feature on board. Again, the accelerometer on board is okay. It's pretty snappy and responsive. It's a 4-axis tilt sensor, so it's going to work for all axes, and it works pretty well for games and for applications. It takes a few seconds. It's not the fastest on the market, but it definitely works, and you have to have a bit more patience with it. As you've probably noted though, the screen itself offers only okay and passable viewing angles. It's not anything extraordinary. If you tilt the screen a little bit too far from when you're actually looking at it, it becomes not as viewable. It loses a lot of the color saturation, and it's because viewing angles are limited. This is not an IPS panel. If we slide from the left here, we have access to the second notification drawer, which will give you access to notifications by Gmail, email, and the time, date, and any other notifications, perhaps by a messaging service or WeChat or anything like that. In terms of installation of applications, I think that RCA did a good job keeping those apps to a minimal degree. We do have access to all the Google services like Google Photos, Google Plus, Play Games. We have access to the full Google Play Store for the thousands of different applications. Otherwise, the few applications that RCA has installed are Sam's Club, Walmart, Voodoo Music, and also WPS Office. The Office application is actually pretty useful. It allows you to actually view, edit all Word, Excel, and PowerPoint documents directly on the tablet, which makes it pretty useful for productivity. It's not the snappiest experience, but it certainly works, and we can slide and use the pinch to zoom gestures on here as well. What you're seeing here is actually a built-in version of the user's manual. Because a full user's manual is not included in the box, RCA included a digital copy with every single tablet that you have. Again, you can also edit these by tapping on different parts of it. You can look at different page numbers, and overall the program itself, the WPS Office, is a pretty good viewer and also a editing tool, so it definitely does the job and does the job pretty well. The other two applications, the Walmart and Sam's Club, are basically there because those are locations that are selling the RCA Voyager 7 tablet, and you can actually uninstall those if you want to do so. As you can see here, all the on-screen controls are directly on the bottom of the tablet. There are no physical keys. We found the tablet device itself to be pretty responsive as far as pressing these keys, and even in outdoor environments, the screen was bright enough to be viewed, which is certainly good. It just, again, doesn't have the best viewing angles per se. There's also dedicated volume controls if you don't want to use the volume rocker, which works equally as well. In certain applications like the YouTube client, you will notice that after you start playing a video, you can expand it to the full view, and these buttons on the bottom